So you might have noticed that credible people in your industry are always featured in kind of press, in articles, in newspapers, in magazines, on podcasts. And this is a really, really good way to build credibility and trust with your audience to make them want to buy from you. Now, an article from HubSpot said that 93% of purchasers start with an online search. So that could be through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google, but people like to search for the things that they are looking to buy to make sure that they're making a good decision. It's really worth knowing that if people are looking for your product or your service, then obviously they are going to do a search for you, and it's likely that they are more willing to buy if you show up in lots and lots of results, such as in newspapers and articles and magazines, etc. Which is why at the start of the year, I set myself a challenge. So I wanted to show to my clients that they could get their own PR opportunities. So I gave myself 2 or 3 months and I just went out there and tried to get press. And what happened was I ended up on Talk TV. I ended up getting my boyfriend in The Independent alongside an article on Lewis Capaldi. I ended up in some kind of business article type magazines. I ended up in a HR article, and it only took me a few months to do that. And what that meant was I could then put on my website that I had been featured in some kind of well-known different places. But it also meant that I could teach my clients how they could replicate that strategy, which is really, really useful. So I'm going to break down the steps that you can take to get yourself some PR opportunities and get yourself in front of journalists. Now, it's easier than you think. You can do it yourself and you don't have to pay someone. With that being said, the caveat is that if you do pay someone in your industry, you are likely to get great results very fast in the publications that you actually want to be in. So this is about throwing things at the wall when you do it for yourself and seeing what comes back. But there are lots and lots of things that you can do to increase your chances. So I want to show you exactly how you can do that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would I want to do this when it's not guaranteed to make me money or bring in leads into my business? But the Content Marketing Institute highlights that most people want to make their decisions based on a third party talking about you or your product, because obviously when we advertise to people, it's very, very one-sided. So the trust is a lot lower. So if you have your own advertising alongside a list of kind of third party publications, etc., talking about you, then it's way, way more likely to increase your chances of conversion. So this is more of a long-term strategy. However, if you get the right PR opportunities, it can bring leads into your business. So do not sleep on this one. So what are the steps that I recommend? Well, the first thing that I did was to really understand where my ideal customer hangs out. Now, when I tested this strategy, I actually didn't go for the publications that my customer hangs out in and where people are looking for business coaches, because I'm such a small fish that it's so difficult to get into them. So my publications that are on my kind of aspirational list are Forbes, places like Boss Babe, like podcasts like that, places like the business section of newspapers or magazines or articles or websites. So I have a list of publications that are really aspirational for me that I am currently trying to get into. However, because I was testing this strategy, I was just seeing what I could get. So I was using it as more of a kind of credibility tool and more of a test tool so that I could teach my clients. But what you're going to want to do is to make a list of all of those aspirational places that your customers hang out that really give you that credibility, and then you're going to go after those places. So do some research first and find out where your customers are. Now, when you have found those places and you have a list, you're going to want to look for trending topics. So the one way that I got my boyfriend into The Independent and got our business name featured, so our e-commerce business, was that we picked a trending topic. Now, in the news at the time, everyone was talking about Tourette's, and Lewis Capaldi had just been on a trial with Nottingham University, and my boyfriend had been on the same trial previously. So I contacted a journalist when I saw they were looking to talk to people, particularly around Tourette's, and I put my boyfriend forward and I said, look, we've got a business. He would be happy to talk to you about the impact of Tourette's and his own story, but also he was on exactly the same trial as Lewis Capaldi. So this gave a kind of intrigue point for the journalist to use, because they could feature other people who were directly on that trial, which is way more interesting than him just talking about his story. So because the topic was trending, it was way easier to get in one of those main publications. So that was one of the most successful things that I did. So one of my biggest recommendations is that you look look at the news and you look at what's trending on social media, so that when you make a pitch to a journalist, you can link it into a trending topic, because people are way more interested in things that are trending than just generic stories. So my next point is that you're going to want to show how your story, your experience, or you will benefit their audience. Because what journalists love to see is something that's either really, really interesting and intriguing, or they're going to want to give their audience something that they really, really want to read, obviously, because they want to get as many hits on like articles or as many sales of newspapers as possible. So you need to directly tell the journalist or the publication or the website or whoever they are why your story will benefit their audience and why they would want to listen to it. And that's either by making it really interesting and finding an interesting point, or it's by directly pointing it out. So the next thing is that you're going to want to pitch to the right people, so the right journalist and the person that actually writes these articles. So one of the things that I did was I started to connect with people from the websites and publications and newspapers that I wanted to get into. So now I'm connected on LinkedIn with those people, which means that they are actively seeing my content, but it also means that if I have an interesting story or something happens in my business that I want to share, I can search for them in my network and DM them and see if it's something that they're interested in directly. Now, if you are going to start connecting with people, then please be respectful. Do not bombard them. Do not send them multiple pictures, because they get a lot of people contacting them. And if you are really easy to work with, then naturally they're going to be more likely to feature you and have a chat with you about whatever it is that you want to share. Which leads me on to my next point in terms of making it easy for you to work with. So one of the best tips I got was from my friend Sarah. Now, she has got a really accomplished, really successful breastfeeding business, and she has been featured in lots and lots of publications, and she has never paid a penny to do so. So for example, she's been featured in Vogue, or her products have been featured in Vogue. And one of the tips that she gave me when I was first starting out with this over a year ago was that she told me to make a folder with all of my photos, so my professional photos, as well as some quotes from me that the journalist could use. Now, this is a really great tip from Sarah, because what it means is when they pick up your pitch or pick up your story, they have everything they need to create that article. They don't have to come back to you and ask for things. They don't have to wait for things. So if they are on a deadline or they want to turn it around really quickly, then they have everything they need in that folder, and you're making it really, really easy for them to publish something. So please try and send your pitch with a folder of key resources that they can use, and just make their job easy, and then you'll be really easy to work with, and then there's kind of a lot more chances of you getting success in getting PR. So while you are here, if you are not in a group coaching program or a group mentoring program, then I want to break down why you might want to get a coach or a mentor. So for example, when we're talking about getting press, I have got a full masterclass in my portal, which I use Kajabi, that breaks down how to get press, and I break down how I did it. I give you templates, I show you how to not piss anyone off or how to stay on the right side of the law, the tools that I use to actually find journalists, but also how to find out what they are looking for right now. And I give my clients all of that information so they can go out and get their own PR opportunities. So if you want to really get your business off the ground, then you need to know how to get there as fast as possible. So book a call with me and I will run through all of the ways that you can build your business. So I'll give you some really, really clear business tips, as well as tell you how you can work with me, how much it costs, what's in the program, and all of those different things. So another tip that I have is that you can pay someone to do this for you. It will cost you roughly about £1,000. Sometimes people charge less than that a month, but what they will do is they will ask you where you want to be featured, and they will do the research, and they will have industry knowledge and industry contacts to get you into those publications, magazines, websites, etc. So if you want to fast track the way to get press opportunities, then I would recommend that you look for someone in your industry that does this specifically and that can get you kind of PR. And I would just pay them for roughly about 3 months, tell them exactly where you want to be featured, and let them get in touch with the people that they know and position you and pitch for you, because it's really, really effective. I haven't done that yet, but I know people that have, and I am connected to some people in my industry ready for when I want to get in kind of Forbes, etc. Now, one of the reasons I think that I was so successful in making money so quickly is that I was really good at showing credibility online and building trust. One of the ways I did that was through PR and through getting awards, and also getting myself kind of featured in different places, as well as talking about my background and my corporate experience. So please do that if you have lots of things to talk about. Don't undervalue any of your experience at all when it comes to this. But also, I think that in kind of getting PR, it just positioned me as way more credible, because I could share on my website a featured section and say, look, this is where I've been featured. But also I could show up in my stories and say, okay, I'm talking for this group today, I'm on this masterclass, I'm in this article, and it showed that I was really, really active in the online space. So people are way more willing to kind of trust you and know that you're good at what you do, especially for me as a business coach, for example. So another thing that is really, really important when you are trying to get PR opportunities is that you need to have the confidence to just go out there and try it. Contact people, pitch yourself, try different things, try different topics, try different publications, different magazines, different websites, blogs, different people as well. You can contact people and try and kind of guest masterclass in their groups. There's lots and lots of ways that you can get online visibility that is either PR or not PR. So you just need to have the confidence to try lots of different things, and like I said before, just throw things at the wall, because you don't know what's going to work. You don't know who's going to kind of take a liking to you, or take a liking to your story, or take a liking to your product. So the best thing you can do is just give it a go and not worry about what other people think. Here's another really, really important thing that I want you to know. If you have watched this video and you are really struggling to make sales, and you are really struggling to build your business to the income level that you want to, which is how you've ended up here, and you're thinking, maybe I need to get PR opportunities, maybe I need to build trust, maybe that's another avenue for me to kind of have that credibility and start to build an even bigger business, then I want you to know that there are so many steps to building. So this is not a quick fix for selling your product or service. So if you want to know more about what those steps are, then I seriously recommend that you check out this video, because this is where I break down exactly how I would build a 10K a month business and the steps that I take, but also how I did that with my client Beth, which is here, and how she built her 10K business model as well.